Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round, and today I'm talking about M3GAN 2.0. That's right, the AI killer doll sequel that, unlike the first movie, which was very much a horror film, steers heavily into not only just Terminator 2 territory, where, spoilers, Megan is now the hero of the story, but in a sequel that almost feels like a campy Mission Impossible movie that's very much in on the joke. Admittedly, I liked the first movie better. I think that it struck that perfect balance between horror, comedy, and being self-aware. This one doesn't do it quite as well, but I enjoyed it for what it is. Let's get into M3GAN 2.0.
I want to be stronger, faster.
I'm gonna keep this as spoiler-free as I can. I'm not gonna reveal anything that isn't overtly revealed in the trailer, so we'll leave it at that. We're back 2 years later. They took the whole Megan design, and the military has this weird, creepy AI pill robot named Amelia who's gone rogue, and Megan is the only one who can stop her. Yes, it kind of forces, the trope of villain from the first movie we have to make alliance with for the second movie. And again, it works for what it is. I like the genre shift. I like that this is a world that can easily change that up and be more of like a campy, cheesy, comedic, almost Mission Impossible like movie, but still continue the same story. As someone who gets tired of not just horror sequels, but sequels in general that just kind of rehash the plot of the first movie, it's really refreshing for the filmmakers behind this sequel to say, you know what? Let's try something completely different. I also like what they do with Gemma and Katie's relationship and sort of how that's developed since the first movie, where they went from, you know, niece and aunt that kind of barely knew each other, and Gemma didn't really know how to parent, to in this one, she still doesn't really know how to parent, but you see her really trying, and they have a really good chemistry together. I really like Allison Williams and Violet McGraw's performances in this. Of course, no discussion of M3GAN 2.0 is complete without returning both Amy Donald playing Megan in live action, who I met at Monster Mania a couple years ago. She's the nicest person ever. She loved my daughter's Megan cosplay. But I feel like Jenna Davis, the voice of Megan, is just as much, if not more, responsible for Megan's personality, because that's the voice we're hearing the entire time. And Megan has this like sharp wit to her, and it's just funny and entertaining to listen to her go back and forth and banter with Allison Williams Gemma, and just sort of trade insults with each other, while there's still a tension between them, obviously, because of what happened in the first movie, but they're on the same side now. I hope this isn't a spoiler, but I really like the idea, just in general, of like a triple conflict where you have Amelia versus the US government versus Megan. They are not all on the same side. They are all conflicting with each other. I think the best addition to the cast are Tim Sharp as the bumbling. He's supposed to be like an army captain or colonel, but he's never wearing that uniform. I always got the vibe he looks more like an FBI agent, and I feel like the script should have just called him an FBI agent. And of course, Jermaine Clement, who I don't want to speak too much about his character, but the scenes he has, he kind of steals them all, and he's a weird, entertaining addition to it. I think that now more than ever, with just AI being as pervasive as it is, that whole theme really hits close to home, and the idea and the applications of how AI could go wrong and the limitations we might need on it. I mean, we just had not just for military, but we just had an actor and writer strike 2 years ago where AI was very much at the forefront of the issues being discussed. All that being said, it's entertaining, it's funny. You kind of know what you're getting. You're not going into this expecting like an Ari Aster movie or a Robert Eggers movie. You're not really expecting anything deep. You're expecting a movie that knows what it is very much in on the joke, and is kind of trying to strike that balance. I still like the first one better, and here's why. While M3GAN 2.0 does go in very new and interesting directions that I really enjoy and appreciate. Just again, as someone who's tired of sequels, just let's redo the plot of the first one. This one very much doesn't. However, it's unable to resist the urge to just go for those same beats from the first one. And what do I mean by that? There's a scene where Megan dances. There's a scene where she awkwardly sings. There's weird random callbacks to the first one. Remember this happened? Remember this happened? Yes, we remember that happened. And it just feels like whereas the first movie again was that perfect balance and was just self-aware enough, M3GAN 2.0 is a little too self-aware and winks to the audience just a little bit too much. But overall, I really enjoyed it for what it is. I can understand if you're going into this and you don't want the change to, an action espionage sci-fi comedy, you preferred more the horror route. I can understand not liking this one and preferring the first one. I prefer the first one just in terms of story, plot, theme, all that. I also prefer the first one just because I'm more so a horror fan than an action fan, but I can still appreciate it for what it is. But hey, these are just my thoughts. These are just my ramblings. This is just my review. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of M3GAN 2.0? Did you like the genre shift? Did you enjoy it compared to the first one? Which one did you like better? Please let me know. Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. If you don't, you may end up with a weird, creepy android hell bent on taking down governments after you. And as always, every day is Halloween.